every time we hear and we sing the Bato Balani Gozos, we cannot escape the reality that we become quite emotional due to our deep devotion to the Holy Child Jesus, Señor Santo Niño. Especially that all of us Catholic Christians have our own personal intentions. At the first words of the Gozos, we hear these words. And at the chorus part. The custom of waving hands during the chorus part of the Santo Niño Gozos began in year 1985, where its biblical bases were written in the book of Psalms, chapter 63, verse 4, and the first letter of St. Paul to Timothy, chapter 2, verse 8, while the celebration of Novena Masses at the Basilica's Pilgrim Center began in year 1990s. The word Batobalani means magnet, thus the Holy Child Jesus is the magnet of love, while the Cebuano word nangilaba means beseech. Cebuano linguist and journalist June Tariman at his report in Cebuano News of Solar News Channel, which is now the present CNN Philippines, said the words Bato Balani and nangilaba are no longer used in Cebuano language in today's millennium. Nevertheless, we can still hear these words at the famous Santo Niño Gozos. At this point, let's hear the estrofas or the verses of the famous Santo Niño Gozos. According to the research titled The Hermeneutics of the Gozos for Señor Santo Niño de Cebu, this part expresses the declaration of the Holy Child's love that magnetizes the devotee's charm. The Cebuano phrase, Sada ang tao, refers to the ancient Cebuano people, while the Cebuano word palangga means beloved. The chorus part serves as the devotee's response while they are waving their hands facing to the altar where the image of Señor Santo Niño is enthroned. Because of the greatest number of crowd attending to the Novena Masses, some of the devotees stay outside of the basilica. They pay attention religiously with the singing of the Gozos. They hold the image of Señor Santo Niño, raise and wave it with their hands, following the instruction of the lector and the melodious voice of the cantors. As said earlier, the custom of waving hands during the chorus part of the Santo Niño Gozos began in year 1985, where its biblical bases were written in the book of Psalm chapter 63 verse 4 and in the first letter of St. Paul to Timothy chapter 2 verse 8. The first verse tells about Cebu City, where it became the center of Christianity in the Philippines through Spanish missionaries. The Cebuano phrase, "Sa usang balay hipalgan," depicts the story of Kaplag, where the Holy Child Jesus was found by a soldier named Juan Camus amid the burned nipa houses on April 28, year 1565.
Sa pagtanaw kanimo, Kristiyano, sila nahimo.
The second verse speaks about the Christianization of the early Cebuanos, in which the worship of the Santo Niño or the Holy Child starts for these people, kneeling and asking for blessings and protection. To worship means to practice latria, which means that the Holy Trinity alone must be only worshipped.
Ang simbahan di patihinto, ni atong mga tawhana, aron ang larawan nimo, dunay usang uloy ug dito gihamyo nila nga kaluyan, nimo sila.
The third verse speaks about the institution and establishment of churches to serve as the home of the Holy Image and the refuge of the devotees.
Nangayo kami kanimo, nga ang matahumong larawan, sa sulod sa kalagnahan mo, makahimong puloy kaysa tanang kinahanglan, ikaw ang among dalampan.
The last verse speaks about the Santo Niño or the Holy Child Jesus as an integral part of the lives of the Cebuanos.